Akash Inti, the real reflection of you. Midday walk, beautiful sunny day, unusually warm today. A few things that I've been implementing in my life over the past couple days is sharpening my habits, or are sharpening my habits. By sharpening my habits, I mean really sitting down and looking at them, noticing what I'm doing with my time, noticing where my mind is going, and which thoughts do I choose to engage with or feed and fuel even more attention versus which thoughts do I notice and let die out. The way that I let them die out is not through putting more attention on them and continuing to feed them. No, the way I let them die out is by doing something that's contrary or the opposite of that. So what's an example of this? This morning, I woke up and upon awakening, I noticed the sleepiness, like the wanting to continue to sleep. And in that moment, I could feed that thought and continue to sleep, or I could stop feeding that thought and do something contrary to it. So the contrary to it to me was meditate. But that was the closest thing that I had contrary to it at that particular moment in time. That was the next one that came to mind. Now, even more contrary than that could have been something along the lines of do 15 jumping jacks, or do something that shocks the system out of that mindset or that way of thinking. What I've been observing is that when I continue to fuel those negative thought patterns, or those thought patterns that do not provide me more like richness to life or abundance to life, or that don't provide me what I want in life, when I fuel those and I stack them. So stacking is this concept where it's like you build on that, right? So if it's positive thought patterns, it's like, do my meditation. Cool, I just check marked off that. So I built a little bit of momentum. What's the next thing that I can do? Well, the next thing that I can do is read my book. So I read my book. It's another little bit positive momentum. What's the next thing that I could do? Well, the next thing that I could do is write in my journal. Boom, another check mark. So as that continues to stack, it grows quite a bit throughout the day. So it's all about, I've been finding more and more, it's when we get that initial catalyst, right? It's like building a fire, right? When you build a fire, I don't know if any of you guys have been Boy Scouts or in the Scouts or whatever. I've never been one, always wanted to be one, but it's when you build that fire that you need a little bit of tinder, right? You need a little bit of, whether it be small little twigs, maybe some dried grass, perhaps even some leaves, something that really catches fire easily. But that's not gonna build your fire. You need something that catches fire easily. Then you add in some smaller little logs onto it, like maybe some like branches that are a little bit thicker. That kind of catches a little bit more. And then you can add the real big logs onto it, right? Like that you cut down from a tree. But you can't start a fire by just lighting one of these big logs. That's not how it works. So similarly for us as human beings, we can't just expect that you go out into your day and bam, all of a sudden you're going to get everything done that you need to, like the big heavy hitters. I've been finding it's by stacking these small little things in the morning and then stacking from there and there and there, it creates a day that's just like a roaring fire. It's important to note, though, that the opposite is true. So if we start on a negative, or if we start on the wrong foot in a day, and something happens where, I don't know, wake up late, all of a sudden you're like, oh man, that's Tinder in the negative way. Start rushing out of bed to brush your teeth and everything. Bam, your whole day is thrown off, right? I'm sure I've experienced this definitely, where all of a sudden I have a meeting and I'm like, man, I've got a meeting right now and I just woke up and I just jump right into the meeting. Well, that's like me trying to like set a log on fire just like that. It's not going to work. And yeah, I'll have some times where the meeting goes all right, but it wouldn't have gone, the meeting didn't go as well as it could have gone had I been prepared in that sense. So these are things that I've been learning, specifically over this past week. The things that they're intuitive, right? Like we all understand these concepts, but it's only that when we really apply them that we truly understand them. I'll leave you guys on this note. Something that and this is paraphrased from what I've learned from one of my karate senseis, my teachers, is that to know to hear is to listen, to know is to do, to understand is to apply. Something along these lines. I botched that last bit, I think. That like little maybe 15, 20 seconds at the end, but the whole idea being that we don't really understand something. And even me right now, like that saying, it's a demonstration that I don't understand that saying because I wasn't able to say it in this moment, right? So obviously I'm still learning karate. I've still got ways to go. And yet at the same time, I'm practicing, right? Even this little video right here, it's a little practice of my karate practice, if you will. And you're like, well, how is you talking about things a karate practice? Well, it is. It's also part of my yoga practice. It's also part of my pickup practice. It's part of everything because it's all life. Keep up, thrive, and stay sexy.